Again.
We all we always doing something. Well, I guess right now what we can say is we are live at 5/7
Woo.
Central from the Piranha
Yo.
Pond. I, I am your host, Kingfish Mac, rolling in slow motion this afternoon. We all are. Joined by my brother from another mother, my boy, Mr. Non Flyer. What's going on with you, baby boy?
What it do, man? Slow rolling right along with you. You know what I'm saying? Drudging in this hero mud that we getting it out of.
Yeah, man. What I will say is we're gonna remember these last couple of weeks uh, real fondly as being, some of the toughest shit, some of the toughest time to get on and try to maintain an hour's worth of conversation and shit that's kind of engaging. Um, Shout out to my girl Nick Mo. She handling some personal business, and she may or may not join us. Holler from the chair, mama. It's Piranha Pond. You already know how we get out. We don't give a
Man.
damn. And my boy Nick Nass should be joining us momentarily. Uh, he's in high speed trying to get to where his Wi-Fi is.
Trying to get to the Wi-Fi destination.
Right. In the meantime, you got me and my boy Non Flyer.
We are always in the building. Well, not
on
always.
Friday afternoon. The live, we live at 5, but it could be your live drive at 5 right now.
Yes, sir. We with you through all that young bullshit ass trafficky if you're in that LA area.
Man.
You know what I'm saying?
I was
Happy
about
to jump up and down that hill and listening to your folks. We got you.
Hey,
you know what I'm thinking too?
What's that?
When you were saying we gonna look back on these times when we sitting in them offices, man, and we doing our thing. These are definitely gonna be conversations we gonna laugh at. Like, nigga, do you know?
Oh man!
Before we had this highly wired for sound ass building we in, niggas used to literally be getting up out the mint nud.
Real
spill, bro.
And on top of it, we're gonna have the video footage to refer back to. Laugh like a motherfucker. Hey, you suggested a pretty decent topic for today, especially since we're kind of anticipating that it might just be Boys Club in here today. Can you hear me okay?
That came on the heels of that Charlemagne thing.
Okay. So yeah, I generally right about now would be putting up, some kind of video or something, or a picture of postcard or something to kind of give an example of what's going on in today's news that we're talking about. But the thing about today and what we're going to talk about. What's up, Big Nass?
What's going on?
You hydrating, baby boy.
Cooking and shaking.
So what we're going to talk about today is kind of all-encompassing because it can cover so many different areas of our existence as a Black community. So what we're talking about today is
cancel culture.
Cancel culture. Cancel culture. Does cancel culture only exist in social media settings? Does social media groups like Black Twitter and this, that, and the third have the real ability to cancel a person when they do something that is egregious, to the general community? And how effective is cancel culture really? Is it more of a threat or is it serious? Now, mind you, we got Bill Cosby's and the TIs and all the different people in our culture that has been in the news as a result of doing shit that may have been thought to been okay at some point, or even in their particular circle. But when it's hitting, the greater fucking blogosphere, people who ain't into shit like popping pills and having sex, kind of look at that shit as some egregious shit, and they ready to quote unquote cancel your ass quick, fast, in a hurry. So, what you guys think about cancel culture? Does it exist? How does it affect us? Holler at me, Piranhas.
Okay, personally, as I tap my grinder to loosen up my greed, um, I think it's pretty fucked up, man. I think that it's pretty fucked up to where, I mean, everybody got a tongue for their bullshit, but I mean, to where people who really don't even care either or just jumping on the bandwagon can literally affect a motherfucker's livelihood. Like, just on some, because it's the new shit. Hashtag fuck this nigga. Now everybody on some fuck this nigga type shit and don't even know who he is, what he do, how he until after the fact. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Because most of this shit, the wave only grow like a snowball. And it only snowballs because motherfuckers ain't got shit else to do. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's fucked up. I think that is highly fucked up for those who are affected by it because, man, you could have took that shit on some personal shit between them and those people, had that shit handled like they did back in the 80s, nigga, and gone about their business. You know what I'm saying? But now, it's like, get caught up in any little thing, you can't even make no money no more. Now they forcing motherfuckers to the street. You know what I'm saying? So it's
Right.
like, I don't know, man. I just think it's a fucked up movement. I think it's a fucked up wave. Personally.
Nick Nass.
Well, I got a whole lot to say.
I
See?
know you do
Short time
because
to say it.
shit. I be hearing you talking about cancel culture all the fucking time.
Yeah, because this been revealed to me because it didn't exist in my world, right? Like my own person. So who's buying into it? That's the question that we have to ask ourselves, right? Like, what purpose does it serve? Because the person is still alive. You know what I'm saying? And so whatever it is that got out there for them to say we're gonna cast you over, the person to try to stop a man from or a woman from eating because whatever their words was to destroy, you know what I'm saying? It's like that who's in fear of the truths? Who's in fear of whatever? Because anybody could cancel you over anything if you buy into the narrative. You know, you could cancel me because I have, you know what I'm saying, long beard hair. So do I have some kind of infectious disease because I choose to have a long beard? So I get canceled, I get denied. You know, it all goes all the way down to the current thing is, are you vaccinated? Or you wearing a mask or not right now? So whoever is want to make up this world of if I'm in disagreement with anything you say, I could get the followers behind me to knock you down, and that is a cold power to let people have over your individual life because it's a moment in time. So right there, it's like I still associate it now. My view is with snitching. Did you hear what your caller said? You know what I'm saying? Did you see what kind of Nikes he had on? You know, this all the frivolous, non life changing things. You know, and it's because if you just like this, right? If you could go back 40-something years and you listen to the talk, how people talk, radio, they wasn't seen on television screen. There was just a voice over the radio, and they said with any kind of words to 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 spark your emotions. Then, well, 50 years ago you said this, and we're gonna cancel you now, and you 80, 75, 80 years old.
Right. That's
So
And you
let
crazy.
just
so
came
let's
back into the spectrum of this in the no media shit. So
well
I don't
let's
know, dude.
let's
It's like,
let's
to me
let's
it's
take both
bullshit, and
let's take both sides of
it
that
don't make
argument.
no difference because I'm still alive.
Let's take both sides of that argument, right? And let's give them the fucking names, right? So Bill Cosby.
I'm breaking
Right?
up now.
Well, you ain't breaking up on our end. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So Bill Cosby on one end is pretty much who the case study that Nick was just talking about, right? Where, however many at whatever point in history, he was doing some shit that was outside of the norm for everybody, but inside the norm for your community of motherfuckers, right? So motherfuckers is popping amyl nitrates and fucking quaaludes and whatever the fuck. And this is during the age of the infamous Spanish fly, drops, and all that kind of bullshit that was going on in the 70s. Okay, so this nigga, at some point, he gets called on the carpet for the shit that happened years ago. He acknowledges, okay, yeah, in today's society, this would be viewed as some fucked up shit. We was doing what we was doing, but I'm gonna go ahead on and break you off, right? I'm gonna chip you off, and we just gonna move on. NDA this shit, you know what I'm saying, and push past it. Then you fast forward 20 years later, and because of a joke that gets told, you know what I'm saying, and then the way that social media picks up on shit, and the general feeling in the comedic community about Bill Cosby and the way that he kind of stood over people with this holier than thou type of shit, the cancel culture came right in effect. And it had some real time effects because unlike you, where you still living in whatever the fuck a motherfucker's talking about on social media didn't affect you, it actually affected him. They opened up a case, violated the fucking laws, wrote some new shit, you know what I'm saying, just to apply to him and send his ass to the penitentiary. So from that perspective, I would be saying, well, cancel culture is fucked up. But then let's take R. Kelly from the entire other perspective. Here's a motherfucker that was doing shit, and we knew he was doing it because not only did people in the industry know that he was on some bullshit, but nigga, we seen the motherfucking tapes. Goddamn. So it is what it is, right? This nigga was able to, whatever he did to get that shit swept under the rug, right? Same type of shit as Bill Cosby. Pay somebody off, whatever. We'll beat the cases. Now, fast forward 10 years later, however many years later, and because cancel culture, again, comes out to say, hey, look, what this nigga was doing was bullshit, you know what I'm saying? And we need to check him on that. And then the ball got to rolling, and next thing you know, his ass is under motherfucking in custody. But rightly so, right? Because again, we've seen the motherfucking tapes and shit, right? And there ain't no fucking excuse, no justification for that shit, right? And that kind of behavior. My point being that that's two sides of the same coin. And I feel totally unhypocritical in saying that I believe that cancel culture gave Bill Cosby a very raw deal, and then we get to paint the story to be what we wanted to be to justify what we did to him, as opposed to R. Kelly, whose ass is still just sitting up, and we don't know what the fuck is going to go on with him. But we've already kind of concluded, you know what I'm saying, that this nigga got coming whatever he get.
True.
Right. And by all means, I don't want you to think that, or I want to clear up the fact that I'm not saying that the victims don't deserve justice. By all means, get that. But I also believe that it's something that should be handled in private and not in the public eye. If this man is in court, of course the public's the media is going to report on it. But who are we to judge on that man's character to where he can't make his money? You know what I'm saying? Who are we to judge on that man's character where he can't make his family? He ain't murdered nobody. Everybody out there supposedly touched is still out there living their lives. They may have psychological damage, and that's between, them and their families and all that. But at the same time, you can't damn this man who has done so much for so many people.
Well, that's a great point, and that's a great segue to what my next question was going to be regarding this. which is given the fact that from the Constitution that Frank is so very, very proud of super bias, right? All the way down to administrative shit with your job, right? HR, right? HR procedures and shit like that. There has been and is and always will be a system in place for adjudicating wrongs, right? So if you break the law, your ass go to court. If you violate policy, your ass get, called into, a fucking internal
citation.
investigation or whatever the fuck, right? So my point is that there's always an opportunity for a person to get due process, but it seems as though get off the door, stupid. Sit down. Sit down. It seems as though with cancel culture and with the advent of social media and the fact that everybody has a voice, it seems that we're circumventing, what systems have been put in place methodically to provide us due process. So nowadays, what happens is you're not innocent until you're proven guilty. You're accused and you're guilty. And regardless of whether or not you get adjudicated as innocent later down the line, you still live with that stigma.
Already out there.
Right, because cancel culture is not as quick to point out their wrongs as they are yours.
Yeah. So let's take it back to this point, right? Since this issue came up I asked the question earlier in the, when we start broadcasting, and I actually went back to something like old Dick Gregory stuff, right? And he actually had a valid point. It's like cancel culture has been applied to us first to see how it's going to work itself out. Because he said, as standing flat-footed on the stage, we wasn't bounded by saying anything as comedians or as people that speak for whatever's going on in the culture, right? So he said, if you don't have it on paper and really do the studies on where did it develop from, right? It's a fictitious. It's scientific test proven to be science, right? So this whole cancel culture thing is a figment of people's imagination, right? From the stories that they heard. Then they try to use the justice system to bring it to toe, or the jury of our peers, as you want to say, through the media, right? In media right now, we can know what's going on in Dubai, in the village that we don't know about right now, right? So the information is coming to us at light speed. What do you do with that? Because it's all everybody else's opinion, right? But we can actually get canceled for looking into it, saying you jumping on the ship with the guilty. Now we got to cancel you because you agree with that, right? So everybody tag this person, cancel him, strike him from the comments, strike him from any outlet to get his point across because we want to believe this narrative right here. So yeah, it's a domino effect of bullshit, right?
I guess I can't say this. I'm glad I ain't never just took no pussy because once I blow up, they ain't gonna be able to cancel me unless they want to cancel me for robberies, which I've already done my time for.
Got my time.
It's pretty much clear. You know what I'm saying? I'm pretty much in the building. You know what I'm saying? I ain't never did no janky shit.
So
here's the thing, not to cut you off, Nick, but let me just throw this in here to Frank. So right now, right, in 2021, a nigga that, took some jewelry and shit, right, and got caught up and went and walked off, a fucking decade to pay for it, came out and been fucking working and taking care of his kids and doing all this shit, right? Motherfucker look at you and be like, well, shit, the nigga was trying to get money. It's no moral judgment that's made against you other than the fact that you a nigga that walked off that penitentiary time. So you get that X in front of your convict title and shit, right? That don't really matter anyway.
Right.
But now let's fast. Right. So let's fast forward. Let's fast forward 10 years from now, right? And there's a rash of jewelry store robberies that insurance companies ain't paying for. So the culture becomes that anybody that been on some jewelry store robberies today in 2031 or anytime in the past 10 years, 2021, or 20 years, 2011, you know what I'm saying? These motherfuckers is looked at as scourges of the community. And the minute that we find out that your ass participated in some shit like that, you know, I don't give a fuck if it was 30 years ago. We gonna cancel your ass.
So right there. So
Even though you already did your time, right?
Hold on.
You did your time, you was adjudicated guilty, walk that shit off, you did your parole, and you've been a productive member of society since you've been home, right?
Put that chest fire out. All right, listen. And if they do cancel my motherfucking ass, I'm gonna go away for probably like, I don't know, a while. And I'm gonna come back under a pseudonym with a mask on. And I was still spit by spit, goddammit.
So
Here, I'll say this, right? I'm gonna give y'all I'm gonna give the audience some fake transparency. You two know, but I won't say it out loud. What I will say is, over my 56 years, right, in the game, I have been quite the reprehensible motherfucker, right? And I always say these last little, 10, 15 years, I've really been trying to get into heaven, right? I'm trying to fucking, I'm trying to get some retribution and shit, right? For the shit that I've done, my past transgressions. In saying that, right, and without being specific, you guys know that if this shit blew right now, that they would definitely try to cancel my ass.
Yeah, they gotta go through us though.
No, but the thing is, right? Let's not even fake the funk, right? We all will be canceled.
Right, they gotta go through our ass.
So we in the piranha pond, baby. You know what I'm saying? So all of y'all are like-minded. Y'all, I know y'all been there, but we ain't never gonna say nothing. So let me put this on your mind. Smoke this one over for a second, right? So, recently we lost a great comedian, right? Paul Mooney. Rest in peace, Paul Mooney, right?
Rest in peace to Paul Mooney.
So if you actually go back and listen to all the stuff that they wrote about, that people laughed about, the Hugh Hefners, he could get canceled right now. You know what I'm saying? The Paul Mooney's could get canceled, the Richard Pryor. Even when DMX just passed away, rest in peace, DMX, right? That they try to go back to an old song that everybody was dancing to. Now, mind you, right? Listen to me very closely. Donald Trump was in the lifestyle of Studio 54. It's actually pictures of this dude around all of these things that would cancel him right now in question ass.
Oh yeah, he got pictures with the Epstein boy.
Yeah, that nigga pussy grabber.
So this is the thing,
Real
right?
spill, admit it.
You know what I'm saying?
No alleged.
So
I heard him say it.
Yeah. So the thing is, right? So how far do we feed into the cancel culture? Think if they cancel, it's going to make things right with the universe. And yes, Matt, if everything goes right now, we are going to get into heaven because we already, repented. We already paid our things by just being good and actually creating things. You know what I'm saying? And yes, man, we are the chosen few. You know what I'm saying? And it's a clan of us that's like that, right? So these people can never take our voice away, although they try it with the most rudimentary thing. Your words will be held against you, not in the court of law, in the court of public opinion.
Right.
Right. So it don't make no sense to me because I could get up here and because we have less ignorance now, right? We're not ignorant to facts, right? You can't question my common sense. I know what you're trying to make up. It's not readily available in your case. You know what I'm saying? So cease and desist with all of that you try to put on me. And now I got to go up here. Oh, if you don't say nothing, that means that you're guilty. Nah, that means I'm not talking about it. Whatever you make up, it's just a story. You speaking that into existence. But if you try to go back and gather up the troops and have too many people, not enough Indians, right, to back you. It's like Facebook didn't hire you to be a person to administrator to go through everybody's text message. Say, oh, you know what I'm saying? You selling puppies on the internet, and it looks like they're not healthy. So I'm gonna take you off of Facebook. I'm gonna take you off this group.
And most of the stuff on the internet don't even have to be fact for people to jump on it. And even after the facts are dispelled, like i.e. as in Michael Jackson, right? That shit still follow you. The man was exonerated and everything, and everybody always talk back about how those
shit.
allegations
All tried to
this
throw
shit.
him under the bus after this nigga was dead.
That's what I'm saying. Like, that's crazy as fuck. Even after you get vindicated for it, once it's out there, it's out there. And I think that's fucked up.
Yeah, but like recently, right now, with the Ahmaud Arbery thing, right? So what if the guy was an ex-police officer? He wasn't a police officer on duty right then and there, right? So they're gonna cancel my guy for saying that I'm running down the street. I don't know who this person is. You know how many people that been kidnapping and all the people missing, grown folks and stuff like that? You know, just like you said, mass shooters and kidnapping, selling organs and all that. But you're gonna tell me you're gonna cancel me for standing up for myself. So that is right there, what y'all said, right? When we said a couple of episodes ago, the birth of the simp, right?
Well, it's not even that. I think I just believe that.
No, listen, Frank, for real, right? So the thing is, right? We actually stand up as people, as a whole culture, right, and push back from it, right? But we in the fear of losing followers, losing content. Content and all that is people's lives. Then you was right, Frank. Look, how can I take food from this man's mouth that got records in the universe that other people would get paid from because you locked up and this man's family still not eating after he created this whole everything? That is thievery at its finest. You guess to make somebody else money. Whoa.
Well, I think what it is that with social media, with the advent of social media, people are given a voice which makes people think their opinion matters. The thing about it is you get so many people voicing the same opinion or the same fucking disagreement with whatever the fuck it is that you did, right? You get this general feeling that people ain't fucking with you. And if you make your living by people fucking with you, whether it's on, podcasts or doing music or you're an actor or whatever, you have to acknowledge the idea that because of this general spirit that is being promoted in social media against you, that people are not going to spend their money with you, right? So I think that a lot of times what we do, because, we always say that in the greater scheme of things and shit, right? Because of who we've been in the past and who we're trying to be today, a lot of times we don't feel like we're being included in the conversation, right? So generally, we don't be giving a fuck. What, you know what I'm saying? In this scenario, I think what it is that, we kind of, right now we in the space, right? And what we're saying is that none of that shit should matter, so fuck y'all. But what I'm saying is that even though we might feel that way as, the fucking piranha, other motherfuckers that might be, like I said, if our shit grew, we got a fucking 500,000 subscribers, people donating, fucking ad revenue and all that kind of shit, then people start to think that their voice is important enough to make us change or to affect some change because we kind of we depend on that social interaction for our for our living.
I
You feel
understand
what I'm
what you're
saying?
saying. Yeah.
Right. And for that fact, I always agree that we should always keep it real. And even in that fact, I believe that when it comes to this type of shit, with our support in terms of black people, we gotta hold our own up. We can't let them tear us down and then go behind them and tear them down too. You know what I'm saying? Because we know how that shit go amongst us. Fuck what they're going through. We know what goes on amongst us. And true indeed, the motherfucker deserves to be punished, but he don't deserve to be ripped down and stripped of all his bullshit. You know what I'm saying? It still should be people out there supporting that man for all the good shit that he did. And I believe that should be our people.
So what happens? What happens when? How can I say this? What happens when these people that I'm talking about, the cancel culture individuals, right? Who feel like their voice is important simply because it's part of the greater collective, right? And so they feel like they're able to move shit simply by adding their voice, like signing the fucking petition and shit, right?
Right.
And but the only reason why they are as loud and proud about whatever positioning they have that's against you or against somebody else is because of the way that they want to be perceived and looked at. It's almost like clout. So let's just take the R. Kelly situation. So for 20 years, you had all these industry people who knew what the fuck was going on with R. Kelly. We didn't know until the fucking videos hit. But then for 10 years after the videos hit, we were still stepping in the name of love around this bitch, right? Okay, and then all of a sudden, it became fashionable, right? To get out and speak up. And the speak up is never, oh yeah, well, I don't give a fuck what that nigga did. The music is slamming. The speak up is always on the side of, hell yeah, high five shit. Oh yeah, that nigga should have been canceled a long time ago. You motherfuckers knew what that nigga was doing and whoop it.
But it didn't exist though.
But what I'm saying is that people who are very loud on their social platforms, right? A lot of times are the same people who wouldn't say a fucking thing to you live and in person, right? And quite matter of factly, I think when we had talked about the R. Kelly situation early in the game, I think I said something to the effect of, we all know, some 17-year-old chick that was getting picked up from the high school by this 23, 25-year-old nigga in a lowrider or a Benz or a Cadillac or whatever.
That shit was happening with at least 16% of the senior bitches that went to school we was going to school with.
This is what I'm saying. So all the motherfuckers that was on some, I'm just totally flabbergasted at the R. Kelly shit, right? About him fucking with young chicks. You don't be so motherfucking flabbergasted when it's your little cousin getting picked up by the baller nigga. You be like, girl, get your money.
So
what the fuck you talking about?
So that's what I'm saying. That's why I say, if anybody, we should be holding these niggas up. We should still be playing their shit, still be buying their shit, because we know, despite all the bullshit, we the most forgiving people on this planet, and we forgetting white people for all the shit they did to us. Why we can't forgive our own and continue to support our own?
So look, so that's recently what we said the other day, right? When I said in Inglewood, I didn't see people led in the street without sheets on, whatever, right? And to go back and say, hey, Nick Nash, you was a witness to all this stuff, right? That was going on. It actually facilitated because I didn't say anything. So do I get canceled because we heard around what was going on in the wood? It just don't apply, right? We go to Center Park. We had to it was, the Thunderdome. You know what I'm saying? You go down with your skateboard or your little bike. You know what I'm saying? It was a Thunderdome. And we never canceled nothing out. We didn't even cancel the dude that got stole on or packed out. Right? But if he came around there with the whistle, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, oh, well, that's what it pushed him to, right? Now, let's go recent times right now, right? So the most egregious one that I have seen thus far, right, is they're trying to cancel Billy Gates for talking about he about to divorce his wife. Now, what is the analytics on in the spectrum of these cancel culture people, and who's the machine behind it?
This nigga said Billy Gates. I started thinking about what country motherfucking singer is this nigga talking about?
Yeah, I was about to say, I don't know who Billy Gates
Bill
is,
Gates.
brother.
Bill Gates. I'm talking about Bill
Hilarious.
Gates.
You
They
can't cancel Bill Gates. That nigga running
But
the
they trying
fucking
to.
United
But
States.
but the
They
thing
try
is,
to
right?
cancel Bill Gates, nigga. Everybody losing their motherfucking internet. How about that?
No, but they're saying
Look, everybody trying to cancel Bill Gates except Melissa Gates.
there you
Right.
go.
You
know what I'm
She's like, shit, chip me off. I'm cool. I've been cool for 16 years. I've been letting this nigga do what he want to do. What?
Ain't
Yeah,
nobody
y'all talk
can't
about
nobody cancel Bill Gates. Cancel him from what? Making money?
But I'm saying this
You
is
gonna cancel him from?
but this is the thing, right?
Cancel that nigga from making your life easier.
Right. Who gonna stop fucking with Bill Gates? Just
No, but
really.
the thing is, they said that
Of all the motherfuckers he done made billionaires, who gonna stop fucking with Bill Gates?
But no,
really?
but they saying you supposed to be the epitome of a husband and wife power couple.
Nigga, that nigga ain't Jesus.
But the thing is, right?
That's
They
true.
they think he is.
That
This
nigga's a human being just like everybody else.
But
He
they
had an
said-
agreement with his wife though. Take that, nigga.
I don't know. You make $100 billion and shit, man. You can write up some contracts.
You might. That's what I'm saying. His wife wasn't complaining.
I'm
But they said-
gonna be
and if
willing to
she
sit
is
down and
complaining-
contract this shit
If
out.
she is complaining, she the only motherfucker with the right to, because that's his wife, nigga.
But they
Other
said
than
how
that,
can
everybody need to mind their own motherfucking business.
But no, they said how can you
She ain't saying shit.
But they said how can he have the thing of, like I said, the power couple, and you go on here and doing this backdoor stuff that, whatever. And
Okay,
it should
so
be
for
that
instance, this when they
It
had that
wasn't backdoor,
bullshit,
though.
Jay-Z supposed to
That's
have
what I'm saying.
cheated on Beyonce. They didn't cancel that, nigga.
But they canceled the little sister though for beating them up in the elevator.
No, they didn't. Solange still getting her money.
Mine's still doing her shit.
Still doing her shit.
But
They
that's
no
still talking about that was black girl magic right there.
Right. They was cheering that
Violence,
They was cheering
abuse,
her ass. Oh, they had
abuse
Layla
is
Ali
abuse.
trying to hook her up with her lefts and her rights, teaching her how to use that jab
So-
off the back foot and all the shit.
So look, so why did they try to catch a dude with the red with the Xbox box? You know what I'm saying? It is.
Because we didn't see what happened before. We didn't see what happened before the camera started rolling.
But I'm saying it's in the same thing. Abuse is abuse, right? So
It is, and that's true.
You know
But what
what I'm saying?
my whole thing
Well,
is,
hey, in the spirit of fairness, we got it. Shell did say that, when we had that conversation, that she wasn't giving Solange no motherfucking pass either.
Yeah.
well, true. And I mean,
You know,
regardless of that, either way, my whole thing is, don't let them shape the future of ours, because
But-
they've been shaping the future of ours for way too damn long.
But
That's all
I
I'm
need to
saying.
know who is the Wizard of Oz behind the curtain.
Now, I don't care who they
The-
cancel their own folks. They can cancel whoever. But when it comes to our idols, our people, the people who brought good memories and good times, we done had cookouts to this man music. We done fucking Bill Cosby was one of the first images of a righteous black man on television doing his damn thing. Then man, fuck that. You know what I'm saying?
But the thing is, right? So let's do it like this, right? They actually try to do it to Chuck Berry. They actually try to do it to B.B. King, Bobby Blue Bland,
Little Richard.
Little Richard. You know what I'm saying? So who is the machine behind this? Where did this?
I'm gonna tell you.
Whoever it is in charge of defaming the black man.
Now I'm gonna tell you what it is, right? And it's a wonderful phenomenon, right? How wonderfully simple it is, right? So the main goal of every community, right? Every minority community is to assimilate into the mainstream. So that means that you want to do what successful motherfuckers in the mainstream do. What do the successful motherfuckers in the mainstream do when it comes to niggas? They don't give a fuck about us. They cancel us at fucking will just to let us know you ain't no better than the rest of the niggas. Feel what I'm saying? And they more importantly is they quite often take the power of procedure away from us, right? We don't get due process, even in the court system and shit, right? Because of who we are. It's just always kind of been stacked up against us and shit, right? So people niggas, black folks, who consider themselves assimilating to the mainstream, they utilize the exact same tools.
Wow.
You
So
can't wait to, right?
so that's the
I
coldest
guess
thing.
I guess that's the beauty of the type of motherfucker I am, man, and we are, because it's like, nigga, I'd rather produce my own stream manually, right into my own goddamn pond. What they got going on out
Oh, they
there?
gonna find it.
Here,
It's gonna
here,
come a thing called intimate domain. So if your stuff
let me
is
give
That's fucked up, nigga.
let me give y'all a real time example of what I'm talking about that you probably would never even think of in those terms, but just think of it from the psychological terms. So our people, black folks, right, have traditionally been underrepresented in terms of economic advancement, stability, opportunity, and everything, right?
Right.
However, our community has always kind of looked at motherfuckers that can get over on the system as, hey, shit, you did his shit, right? Long as you didn't hurt nobody, right? So, like, if you doing some fucking insurance fraud or fucking tax fraud or some shit like that, right? How many of our people cheat on their taxes every year? Look for a nigga like me that could bend the numbers for you or some shit, allegedly. You know what I'm saying? So that, reduce the fucking amount that you got to pay or increase the amount that you're getting back, right? So we kind of always been cool with, shit, that's the government shit. It is what it is, right? Get your money, boy. However, this whole pandemic shit, right? How many motherfuckers on podcasts just like ours, niggas, have you heard saying Charlemagne the God, fucking earthquake on Quakes, fucking DL Hughley, and like motherfuckers, we really enjoy watching this shit, right? And their position is, yeah, you niggas is going to jail for PPP fraud. All you niggas that took that motherfucking money, rah, 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 rah. Yeah, the police is coming to get your ass, and I'm gonna be laughing. Why?
Yeah.
Because you assimilating to the mainstream, because the mainstream don't do frauds against the fucking insurance companies and the states and this type of thing, right? Because they taxpayers, so eventually it gets passed down to you from a taxpayer's position. That's how people kind of justify the hate, what I'm saying, getting in people's business and just really wishing people to go down for coming up on some shit that didn't affect you at all.
Which is
So
crazy as fuck, because even as being taxpayers, then you still gonna pay the same taxes, hating or not. Hating
so
ass
look,
niggas.
so that takes me back, because you know what I'm saying, when when we was more focused on capitalism and and managing our money, Mac and Frank, right? So that takes me right back to Bernie Madoff, right? Ponzi scheme. You know what I'm saying? So everybody who was involved in that, from the bottom to the top, actually needs to be canceled too, because people took life savings. You know what I'm saying? Like people life savings, right? That was
Yeah, but
supposed
they're
a
not gonna
good
do
thing.
that because they white.
No, let me say something, right? But it actually, even if they went to jail, right, for all the people, oh, let's go like this, right? Even the homegirl, what's the little the actress name that put their kids through college and whatever fake stuff. You know what I'm saying? And that right there, it got the whole everybody. Oh, you need to know how to get in college and get this degree. Oh, you didn't work for it. We can sign these papers. Bam! Everybody who
They
was
got
involved in that.
they got a whole little fucking it's a movie about that too, man. I
Man,
watched it.
but
Yeah, but that's what I'm
what I'm
saying. She's
saying.
still getting
That,
paid though. Ain't nobody
is she
taking no food
canceled?
out of her kid's
You know what I'm
mouth.
saying?
That little couple $100,000 she spent to pull that bullshit ass off she got caught for, she making that right back.
But
She ain't in jail for that shit.
who's
You
gonna
know what I'm
reclaim
saying?
all? So who's gonna reclaim all those people that adjusted their lives to get these degrees and got into a job or got job placement, even if you were trying to be transparent, right? But they ain't canceling, their careers are still set. They can't take away the paperwork. You know what I'm saying? Money has been paid, or grants has been paid into it. They got their money. You know,
Well, Lori Loughlin, and Felicity Huffman, they both kind of canceled out of Hollywood, but they didn't make so much motherfucking money. They could just be
Yeah, but
suburban
they not
housewives.
taking. I
The
mean,
thing
but their
about it
kids
they
is
got
this,
messed
right?
up. But I
Here's
guarantee
the
you,
funny
especially
shit,
with
right?
Felicity
Is
Hoffman
Lori
girl.
Loughlin's daughter, right? The one who everything kind of blew up behind. She a fucking multi-millionaire selling
millionaire.
shit on
So
YouTube.
that
She
was I'm take care
motherfucking
of my
influencer.
yeah.
Right.
I'm
She
So
take
like,
care of
look.
I
my
didn't want to go to college anyway.
Right.
anyways.
So look.
That was
Right.
my
Look.
mom
Right.
and
Look.
them.
Right. Look. Right.
I'm taking
Even
care of my
in
mom
both of
anyways.
those, even in both of their instances, right? They backing up out of the limelight of Hollywood. but I guarantee you that nigga gonna be popping up on some producer credits. I guarantee you that nigga gonna be popping up on some writer shit if they actors. You know what I'm saying? Like they gonna
Selling
get
their
their money. They
story.
Because
ain't
they
gonna
still
stop that.
plug.
Yeah.
You still know who you know, and guess what?
Right.
Your people
Right.
in your circle don't believe that
You
you
just
paying
did wrong.
extra $100,000 to get your kid into fucking USC was
Yeah.
no bad thing.
They don't give a fuck
They
about
think of
that.
it like I would have did the same fucking
Same
thing.
thing.
So I think of like if I got some niggas, and then shout out to my niggas on the PPP shit, holler at me. I know how to make this shit legal. But I don't got no hate. You know what I'm saying, for a nigga that's defrauding the government, man. That's
Right.
on you, my nigga.
But I
And not only that, right? And this is what fucks me up, right? Like about Charlemagne and Quake and them. You niggas, okay, so it's one thing to be like, yeah, man, you know, niggas shouldn't do this, that, and the third. But the deed is done, right? Nigga done got away with his shit and spending that money. And you wishing that a nigga go to jail. Like, the money's not coming back. You're not gonna benefit none.
Hating the hate, nigga.
But you just want to see this nigga in jail.
Because he got away with it. But he got away with it.
But guess what? You, as Charlemagne the God, you can't go on Twitter and say, shout out to my niggas that passed for 10,000 plus on the PPP shit.
Well, the thing
You
is,
just
right?
can't be that nigga.
Right.
Right? Because everybody else gonna cancel your ass.
Right.
So if you're gonna say anything, you're gonna say something that is gonna be within the construct of the mainstream.
So,
Or
like, I take it.
Shit.
Look,
Say shit.
I take it simple as this.
Mind your motherfucking business.
Look, I take
Try
it
to help
simple
the
as
nigga
this.
legitimize that shit and stay out of jail, nigga.
Look,
Help.
Charlemagne,
Quit hindering you, sorry motherfuckers.
Look, Charlemagne envy all them people, right? Everybody who's in the rap. I know, you know what I'm saying? Allegedly some booster people, right? I know you didn't buy some $1,000 shoes that been boosted. You know what I'm saying? That is, you know what I'm saying?
You know what I'm saying?
That is a criminal act, right? Hey, I know where Charlemagne got those shoes from, the store that bitch hit doing the riots or whatever, right? But you purchased what's the name of that? I forgot the name of felonious stolen goods. Now you trying to sell them on the internet. They only made 300 pair of them, and you got a pair out of the 300. You know what I'm saying? Now you try to resell them and get a profit, and you got it for whatever, but you found out that they $50,000. So that's fraud right there. So that's why I said a rudimentary of all the shit. If you take it back to the fucking meat and potatoes of the shit, right? Like the schoolyard shit, right? Everything that we possibly do is wrong until it comes to where it's wrong, till they write case laws or whatever, right? So I know, and you know, that simple as that. When a dude went to jail for the 3 strikes for taking a piece of pizza because he was hungry, and they found that was strong arm robbery because he pushed somebody down and got the last piece of pizza because he was starving.
On the way out, right?
You know what I'm saying? And this dude got life in prison for a piece of pizza.
No, they didn't even charge him with strong arm. I know that case up and down and shit, right? The pizza case. So they didn't charge him with a strong arm robbery. What they charged him with was a larceny, a felony larceny, which they shouldn't have been able to because it wasn't worth $400, right?
Right.
But that larceny was his. Okay, so people think that third strike means that this is your third time doing a strikeable offense. That ain't how the law was written.
That's not how the law was supposed to be written up.
The law was written where if you were convicted of any felony and had previously been convicted of 2 prior serious or violent felonies, and they had a whole list of what was
strikeable,
serious or violent felonies, then you, on top of whatever you got, your enhancement was minimum 25 to life.
Period.
That was the enhancement. That's the 3 strikes. So you see niggas with 27 to life. They got 2 years for the felony that they actually got. But then 25 to life for the 2 strikes before that. Nigga had a robbery and a fucking burglary.
Mm-hmm.
You feel what I'm saying? 20 years ago.
Yeah.
And that's what the 3 strikes was. The pizza case, nigga, his shit got reversed.
Okay, so
Okay.
it's reverse us. They
Yeah,
had to.
Yeah.
he
After
got
we let
sent
them
back
law,
home.
goddammit.
Yeah. So that's the
He got
first.
sent back home, and then legislation, California legislation, they changed the law. It was funny as fuck, right? Because the last time I've been to the penitentiary was I spoke on it. I was running a delivery service legally and got arrested by the county, right? And charged with possession of marijuana for sales, which is a felony. And then they told me, look, nigga, you can take this 28 months or we'll take your ass to trial and charge you with third strike allegation, and you can explain to the jury about your fucking business license, medical marijuana shit, all that bullshit.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, thank
No,
you.
no, thank you.
Right.
Right.
You
And
know what I'm
then
saying?
look, so this
But
was
that's
in
the type of
April.
bullshit pressure they apply, though.
Exactly. So this was in April, November. California, the state of California voted on the fucking recreational shit. And I mean, no, they didn't vote on the recreational shit. They voted on the three strike shit, changed the three strikes to where your third strike had to be a serious or violent felony.
Yeah.
So the threat that they had against me was worthless any motherfucking way, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Most
But
they
then,
could have got out of me
that's
was
for the
fucking
fact.
2 years
They probably knew that was on the bill the whole goddamn time.
the whole time.
But they
But-
tried to run up them numbers before they got to let them go. You know what I'm
But-
saying? But fuck all that. My whole thing is, nigga, we need to do a better at protecting our own, man. Taking care of our own. It's some bullshit.
So I like how you phrased the question anyways, Keith. So with that is right, this so it all went in a direction because that was the first thing in council culture, because if you was a threat to society, they had to lock you away. Now they want you to be in public view. It's like throwing apples and oranges at you in the middle of the square with your arms in your head and the thing. You know what I'm
Public
saying?
shaming.
You know, public shaming now. So public shaming now, and it actually get people to snap because it's the end all to end all. Because now, like you said, all these major radios, these people that of curving the culture to get the culture in this way. No different than, you know what I'm saying, Joe Button. No different than what you call that, everyday struggles. All these things to put this information out here, but let one person go out there and go sit at the poker table like your boy did, you know what I'm saying, and throwing money and drinking, and now he's, you know what I'm saying, get fired from ESPN because he was out with the whole room of people. He wasn't doing nothing wrong, but they canceled him for kicking it.
That nigga knew what he was doing.
But I'm saying,
Paul Pierce, that nigga didn't want to. He didn't want to fuck. I mean, he didn't want to fuck with them. He didn't want to fuck with them people no more.
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
But
my
the thing
man.
is, and that's the thing. It's easily to say, okay, well, it's justified for somebody else to pull the trigger than me.
My nigga said, I don't want to do this shit no more, and I want y'all to fire me so I can get my pandemic unemployment around this bitch.
There you
Right
go.
quick.
Probably
Right
$500,000 a week.
That's what I'm saying. So this is the thing, right? So what is the solution for it now, Mac and Frank? What is the solution to get, to stay out of this the crosshairs of cancel culture?
I don't want to stay out of it.
Disclaimers.
What I want to do is destroy the crosshairs. What I want to do is have my people, our black people, they can cancel, do what they want to do with theirs. But understand that they can't just do what they want to do with ours. Ours means something to us.
And I
Fuck
need
what they going through.
to
They
find
can't
out
just
who
do that to our people, man.
So
Just like
who's
they
the
get rid of all our leaders, man. They trying to put all these bad labels and bullshit ass titles on all the people we know that are good men. Man, had some fucked up ass situations, made a mistake or two, but nigga, they ain't no worse than your uncles, nigga. Period.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So fuck that.
But the
Fuck
thing
that.
is, right?
We gotta do better at protecting and taking care of our own.
The thing
Because
is, right?
for as long as we sway the way they want us to sway, we gonna keep losing them.
So
To bullshit.
just like stuff that's been coming to me, right? Through my journeys and meditation.
Like, what about the man kids who ain't did nothing to nobody? How they gonna get to college? How they gonna pay for their education? Like, you motherfuckers ain't buying this shit no more.
Well, a little kid got cancer for playing
You know what I'm
basketball.
saying? At that point, it don't even become about him. You know what I mean? We gotta understand what the fuck we doing when we jump behind these people and that bullshit. It ain't just about that man. You, nigga, now this kid possibly can't go to college no more. You know what I'm saying? Like, you gotta understand that type of shit as far as our people, man. We can't just jump behind what the fuck they do because that has big ramifications for us.
Yeah. Well, just like the little kid that got banned they canceled him for playing dodgeball in school. You know what I'm saying? Like the one kid, they banned dodgeball from school. You know how many times we got that red ball was the bane of our existence, but we was the one that was willing the ball sometimes.
Yo,
Nigga, I played dodgeball in the penitentiary. I don't know what you talking about.
right? Nigga, I was
That's the whole stress
nah,
relief.
nigga, I would kick that motherfucker boy.
But I'm saying, but now,
Yes,
but
indeed.
think about it, right? It's no PE and no dodgeball. You know what I'm saying? Ain't no talking mess, dog. Right? We even the times where I was going to the gym a few years ago, right? Like 6 years ago, before I came into the woods, right? At Gold's Gym, I couldn't go and show my strength because I didn't have no strength, right? But they canceled me. You know what I'm saying? I'm thinking I'm getting back up in there and, you know what I'm saying, try to get to the 500 club, you know what I'm saying? Or just working out with 275 or some stuff, you know what I'm saying? But it came down to 100 pounds, you know what I'm saying? But let the bar fall. They tried to cancel me from that, saying I was displaying aggressive behavior in the gym, fight with some iron. And it's not even penitentiary pig iron. You know what I'm saying? So
the motherfuckers is way too sensitive and need to mind their own business at the end of the day. That's bullshit.
But that's
I mean, I understand we consume a lot of different forms of content, man, but at the end of the day, it's just content. If you really feel that way about it or feel some way about it, dig deeper into it and then realize what the shit that the person that you're going after, the shit that he got going on other than just that. Because before you start tearing down a man's situation, you got to consider his whole situation.
You know what I'm saying?
You done sacrificed a lot of time, man, to bring good feelings to you and your folks, man. A lot of time to make them good old fashioned wedding songs and shit.
Yeah,
but look, you know what I'm saying?
But just like the Barry dude Future Rich said, right? He said, "Why would I ban Gucci from somebody that can't even afford the shit?" You know what I'm saying? So it's like, but you got to take it back further than that to Dapper Dan. You know what I'm saying? MCM, all the stuff.
I believe if our people start speaking up against that bullshit, that shit will dissipate. Hey, y'all cancel what y'all want to, but artists still around. Fuck that, support that nigga regardless. You know what I'm saying? That should dissipate. Because it ain't even about their people. It's about our people.
You know what I'm saying? Because then
we didn't wear no fucking Dapper Dan or MCM on the West Coast.
That's what I'm saying, man.
I know what I'm saying.
Nigga, don't play with me.
Just so niggas won't say shit.
No, but I'm saying that goes to, like, as far as all the development into, like you said, mainstream in the culture. Like
if a nigga was having money,
Adidas.
In the 80s, no. In the 80s, before you, in the 80s, in the Dapper Dan age, because Dapper Dan was more East Coast and shit.
Sure.
If you was in LA and you had bread, nigga, you went, and it's funny as shit, right? You went to the Hawthorne or the Fox Hill Mall. You went to Farouk's, motherfucking Farouk's, and they would hook your ass up, nigga, with the fucking silk suits, nigga.
What?
With the whole troop hookup, nigga. With the what was the name of them jackets and shit, right? That used to have the little prints, the whole fucking dollar on the back of them, or damn, what was the name of them jackets, man? Them leather jackets. What was the name of them jackets, man? Y'all know exactly. They would all have they would have a bunch of different kind of prints on them. Some would have a big ass lion on them. Some would have a dollar sign on them. Some would have a fucking map of New York on the motherfucker. Damn, what was the name of the motherfucking coat? What Mecca? I can't remember.
Pele?
But Pele used to make a coat like them.
Oh, okay.
Right? They came out first, and then Pele started making their coats like them. Big ass fucking leather jackets and shit. Back of them would have like a whole little print.
Wow.
Imprinted in the leather and shit. Man, I can't remember the name of the motherfuckers. I'm gonna remember when we get off. Watch.
Yeah. But then y'all had y'all had the suede sweatsuits, because when I got to LA was 86.
Yeah, nigga, I was all an 8.
Look, so the thing was, it was the head, it was the Lacoste, it was the Latos, all the world. I mean the Olympic stuff downtown from LA, the Olympic Stadium day, the Coca-Cola shirts, and all the rest of that stuff. When I got there,
I took a school picture with an Olympic shirt on from LA.
In a basket weave.
But I was only fucking my mom used to be basket weave queen. But nigga, again, I was 6 and 8.
I'm from Inglewood, and I'm from before the fucking '86 Olympics, and so I grew up when I'm from the Fila BJ age. I'm from the Fila BJ, Sergio Tacchini,
Yeah,
Maja,
yeah.
Hipper the Dippers, nigga, with fucking Deodoras and Chase.
Oh,
Nigga,
them
that's
was
where
tight.
I come from.
Yeah, the greatest
Shout
thing
out to
about
all my Inglewood vets.
Shout out to Inglewood vets, street
the
vets,
greatest,
though, and other vets.
the greatest thing for me was after I finished working with my grandfather, right? I went to the swap meet across the street from the Boys Market of Century in Crenshaw at the corner where the Boys Market used to be, right? They had the swap meet right there. You talk about a Deodoras. I went to Monroe Junior High School, and I was like, wow. No, then the cross corduroys. The corduroys with the cuff.
Let me tell you. Let me tell you what era I grew up in. Y'all era. And also the era of the motherfucking cross colors.
Cross colors.
Yeah. That's what I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying? The motherfucking gas and the cross colors. They get the Carl Canard. The motherfucking Francis DeBogue and then the motherfucking that whole era. That whole line.
My first pair of Nikes.
I missed all that shit. I was gone.
That whole line.
And I watched it on video.
Yeah.
I watched it on video like a motherfucker. Nigga, I seen every video made, nigga. Every hip hop video made.
Man. When FUBU was actually dope as shit. Fucking the resurgence of just at the tip of the resurgence of
nigga, the FUBU shit.
Versace
shit was so dope because
I still got FUBU, boy.
LL had this, I think it was a Sprite commercial or Gap commercial.
It's a Gap commercial.
And that nigga was spitting his shit
all over the place.
And they said, woo for us, by us. And we all knew. I was like, damn, that nigga.
On the Gap commercial.
That nigga advertised their shit in another motherfucker's ad.
And then after that, shit blew up.
Then they had platinum FUBU.
I mean, everybody was rocking some FUBU. And I do mean everybody.
Because they had a store. Look, when I came out there by you, Matt, you know what I'm saying? In the heydays, right? What's that? Detours. What's that one? Yeah. Well, I told
Demos.
I told Demos.
Yeah, we used to say, nigga used to dress out the demo every day.
Every day. Demo.
Every day, nigga would be a demo every motherfucker.
So look, and that right quick. To back to the point right quick, just to bounce back on it. Remember when Hilfiger had that racist bullshit and they didn't cancel that nigga the fuck out? That nigga just rebranded and shot some more shit and got rich off black people some more.
That motherfucker came out and said live on video.
Nigga, my shit wasn't intended for you monkeys.
I ain't make my shit for you motherfuckers.
That's
you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
All that nigga had to do was rebrand and jump back in. Nigga, they didn't cancel that nigga. See, that's some bullshit.
But you got to take it back a little bit.
And you know, and the funny shit, you know who blew this motherfucker up though? Was motherfucking Grand Poobah, nigga.
Yeah.
I thought
Grand Poobah. Grand Poobah, my nigga.
Oh yeah.
You'll figure out.
Yeah.
Didn't even that's crazy.
What you call it, man? Grand Poobah. Then he switched over to Brand Nubians.
Nigga, that's who Grand Poobah is, nigga.
God damn it.
Yeah.
Nick.
But he's part of a bigger set though, man. You know what I'm saying?
And I'm saying, you know, fucking Brand Nubians is Lord Jamar, Grand Poobah, and
Blue Tommy Hilfiger out the game.
What's the other brother's name? Little bald head dude.
I forgot his name. Yeah, the one with the big eyes. Yeah.
I forgot his name too. I don't know what you're talking about now. You said
Don't let it go to your head, yo. Music that
no, nigga. Punks jump up to get
down.
Punks jump up to get beat down.
But then before that, Frank, Troop actually got canceled because in LA they had a group named Troop, but the Troop clothing got canceled too because there was some racist stuff behind there too.
Yeah, they tried to say that the Troop was owned by somebody who was KKK and some shit like that.
Yeah.
But when Nelly brought the shit, niggas still wasn't supporting it.
Nigga was like, fuck that troop shit, nigga. We know where that shit came. Nigga, you know how many thousands of dollars of troop shit I had, nigga?
Oh,
All
you know what else I heard?
Nigga, leather pants with the leather jacket, nigga, with the
crown,
red and white striped troop shirt, nigga. You couldn't even find troop shirts, nigga.
No.
I was killing the game with the troop shit in 86.
You know what else I read? Right quick, it may be a little off subject, but I think it's dope. Guess who owned the Hard Rock Inc., nigga?
Who?
The Seminole tribe. They buying this shit back, nigga. Yeah, they bought the Hard Rock for $400 million.
I ain't mad at them. You know,
Hard Rock Inc. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's good shit.
We know here in California, as well as other fucking states around the country, the Indians, when they got their reparation money and got their sovereignty, you know what I'm saying? Like, we a separate nation. They was like, shit, you niggas like to gamble? Oh, don't trip. We got something for you.
Run it up.
You know what I'm saying? So, nigga, they got, like, I grew up on card houses in California, in Los Angeles, right? Poker houses. These motherfuckers got real casinos, nigga, with slot machines. And the slots is, look, San Manuel, that motherfucking the slot machines are so popular, they closed the poker room. I was there the last day of the motherfucking poker room being open. They was giving out money, like $100 high hand every buck. Like, you was hearing high hands every hand type shit. They just was giving the money away because they was closing the poker room. They said it's more profitable for them to make that shit into all slots. Because that's what motherfuckers go for.
I just love the fact that they buying their shit back, bro. That's basically what I'm saying. Like, man.
I just want to say on the gambling tip, right? Like, half my living is made out of playing poker, right? Y'all know a lot of people don't. Most do. I got a friend, man. This motherfucker, every time they put some fucking money in a slot machine that I don't ever play, this motherfucker hits for a triple up, quadruple up.
Yeah.
I'm like, God can't be lucky like that. God damn it. Shit.
Nigga, you and me both.
Doing this shit for a fucking living.
He said it's your energy. You're back there. You're supposed to be touching cards, not those whatever.
And then be calling me like, oh yeah, you know, I just won 400, and I'm like, well, congratulations.
Yeah.
I just lost $47.
Yeah.
On the last hand.
That I couldn't afford to lose in the first place.
Yeah. So, but the thing is,
right? Shout out to my rabbit's foot.
Oh yeah. So, and the thing is,
coming up.
I want to know when this first cancel culture came and pressed hard. Who was the first person that actually happened to? Where they say, okay, this is the blueprint for us to
OJ.
This cancel. Did they try to cancel culture OJ?
OJ beat the case.
Like,
OJ beat the case.
fucked himself off.
No.
After that shit, if he would have just laid low, that nigga right now could have been hosting on somebody's ESPN shit right now to this day.
Listen. He didn't lay low, but he did. But listen. What he did was, in OJ's world, was lay low, right? This nigga beat the case. This nigga went and played golf. This nigga moved to Florida. They tore his house down in Brentwood. And nigga still had his pension. They took all this shit, took his Heisman, all that shit, right? And this nigga just had his little, you know, 160,000 a month or whatever the fuck it was, right? This nigga still lived. So he was just doing him. But media that ended up becoming social media always was where OJ is. And OJ didn't realize that we looked at him like we did, right? OJ just figured he was still OJ. So when the motherfuckers ask me a question, I'm gonna talk to him. Shit, I'm OJ. And every time he would talk to the media, they would twist that shit and make it like, you know, he was on some non-remorse, tripping with his baby daughter, you know what I'm saying? All that kind of shit. And then the shit happened in Las Vegas. But if we didn't have no social media, right, we wouldn't have heard about none of that shit. It wasn't like OJ was doing the rounds on Oprah, Barbara Walters, Maury Povich, or 60 Minutes. OJ wasn't doing none of that shit. OJ was, you catch this nigga coming out the airport, TMZ with the cameras. Hey, OJ, what do you think about woo woo? He'll tell you. He OJ. I ain't killed nobody. Shit, I'm still OJ.
Yeah.
Now we look at it 20 years later like, come on, OJ, man, you should just kick the fuck back. But I still believe, and contrary to popular belief,
Don't say it.
I don't believe OJ killed them people.
I don't either. Man, dude, just like how they say, nigga, when you have all these other motherfuckers that are acquitted from crimes and they accept them motherfuckers back into their society so hard, like, man, that motherfucker was acquitted, man. He all right, shit. It was on his record, but he cool. Nigga, I felt the same. When them motherfuckers said he was acquitted, nigga, he didn't do it.
How about this? You don't hear nobody saying Robert Blake did it.
Right. Shit about Robert Blake.
Nothing. Beretta is off.
But because it's ours, though. Because he was ours, though.
Well, he didn't think he was ours, but we did.
Yeah, but we knew
they say, I ain't black or white. I'm
and that's why he
got.
Yeah, I know he did. But I bet you he regretted that shit, nigga, after that, though.
Hey.
You know what I'm saying? Because we the only motherfuckers that whenever took his ass back.
I bet that nigga wish he stayed married to Marguerite, motherfucking ass. I bet that.
Oh, yeah. Hey,
the white motherfuckers turned their back on my man's fast as fuck, man. And right now to this day, I wouldn't give what the letter of the law say, nigga. They say he didn't do it, he didn't do it.
So again, we back to the onus of the conversation, or my particular point, which is that once people achieve a particular type of success or a particular perceived success, then they immediately start assimilating to the mainstream ideas, culture, belief systems, and fucking behavior patterns. And
wow,
here's what I think. I think that because of the organicness of the Piranha StreamCast, we don't really appeal to, right now, we don't appeal to anybody outside of our immediate circles, right? All our friends is who tune in. So when shit comes down in, oh, there go Kev. What's up, Kev?
What's on, Kev?
What it do, man? What it do?
So when it comes down to if there becomes an issue about anything in any of the the four of our paths, right? Our people are going to come back and say, well, we already knew that shit anyway. And part of the allure of the Piranha Pond is that we are three niggas and a chick who are all trying to do something more progressive than whatever the fuck it is that we did in the past, right?
Right.
So all our people are kind of proud of us, right? And so there's not very much you're going to be able to tell anybody who fucks with me about something I've done in the past that they ain't already aware of and have already kind of given me the pass for.
Yeah.
In terms of anybody who we grow to touch, you know what I'm saying? We go viral or some shit like that, and all of a sudden we on some Kevin Samuels shit, right? So a bunch of motherfuckers is watching our pod that we don't know, and then something comes up, or you know, oh yeah, these niggas is three crook ass niggas, pistol packing, slap a nigga in the face with the pistol, and kick a bitch in the ass type niggas. We ain't really gonna give three fucks because our core
already knew that.
Be like, yeah, and what?
Right.
They ain't kicking nobody in the ass and slapping nobody in the mouth with pistols now.
Right now,
These
right.
niggas is on some digital shit trying to get their bread up. Trying to spread good information to people who give a fuck. And if you just jump in and you looking because you're trying to be one of those voices that's trying to stand in the way of what we trying to do right here, you'll fuck around and get canceled.
Right.
So
Because
that's the
they care
game.
about us, and that has to radiate throughout our people in general.
Yeah, the whole
We
thing.
know
But
what you niggas is about, man, because y'all are people.
But
We
the
have
thing
to
is,
love them the same way, man. We can't let them motherfuckers drown us out.
so the thing is,
Hey, look, let's take a real situation, right? And wait, I can't be specific because it's too messy. But there was a time where, we had a pretty fucking heated conversation on the pod, and in the 33rd, somebody who was, in the comments and shit, right, that was kind of critical of one of our positions. You know what I'm saying? Shit, my cousin hit me up in my DM and was like, "What's up, woo woo?" Because shit, we don't play that shit right there, right? They have a get super check. So what I'm saying is that we already got that base. You know what I'm saying? Our base is that people that understand who we are and really ain't gonna really stand for nobody being on those super critical shit about any of us in terms of just being ugly with it. Like
That's
we
why
are
I was
always
targeted in
open.
the first place, man.
We always open as the pond. We have to be open to criticism because we invite other people to come in and express their opinions about everything, right? But in terms of people just being purposely nasty, like you coming on because you trying to fucking affect K-Max bottom line because of some shit that you don't agree with. I got cousins in this motherfucker that light your motherfucking ass up.
Oh yeah, the pond is deep, full of piranhas. Goddamn it!
How about
You will
that?
get ate up.
yeah,
Right.
and I like how you broke it to a head though too, right? Because the thing is people out there when you start getting big, they want to have the credit for taking you down, right? And that part is the 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 most disgusting thing of it all because you built
That
yourself
crabs in the
as a
barrel
person.
mentality.
You built it up. It's like I'm checking everybody who's gonna get whatever. If the what I'm saying I'm checking the atmosphere or the climate of this, and this don't need to go on no more because they're gonna make people change their views of people, right? But like you said, man, I like how you said it, and I like how Frank said it that whatever we did in the past, we didn't repent it for it. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
We
yeah.
we got revelations now. You know what I'm saying? And I think we paid our debt to our community because we did straighten up. You know what I'm saying? Like and we took a lot of losses and people when we stood on what was actually right. Knowing sometimes that it's gonna bite you back in the butt. You know what I'm saying? Like Frank, I pushed Frank out the way and said, man, don't stunt that dude right there. And he happened to go around the corner. We could have stopped him right there, but he went around the corner and tried to apply the same pressure to somebody else and end up downing people. No, he ran into three juggernauts over here that he wasn't getting past that. You know what I'm saying? Now, if he would have ended up allegedly in the back of a car or something with some high degree rattlesnakes, you know what I'm saying? It would have been. And them people, like Matt, Frank, y'all didn't stop him. He came around here and did this over here. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
And the whole thing is that that this is the part where it is so disheartening, man, that people are actually trying to reach back in the time, thinking they're what's this new thing? These woke people, or these fake woke people, or whatever you want to put on it. But our eyes been wide open to God and to the universe for a long time. We could see it coming. You know what I'm saying? I know y'all was there. Nah, no, I wasn't. It had to be you because you always there. It's like, not at that time. You know what I'm saying? So you can't justify us being there because there's a lot of stories mythical that we was there. I was standing right next to you. You know what I'm saying? Like, nah, I wasn't there. Allegedly. So that is the part. And yeah, right. I do talk backwards sometimes to get my point across and use some Nick-isms, right? But sometimes I'll be going too fast, but y'all just listening too slow, some people. You know what I'm saying? So you got to go back and recapture it. You actually get the point because I be trying to make it easy on the mind or going about it a long-winded way for people to actually understand it. And you have to have that ear to be aware, and we all got that ear. Because, like Max said, I understand what exactly trying to say. Frank, I know exactly what he's trying to say.
This. if they ever try to cancel Nick for anything he say, nigga, that'll be a long ass cancellation.
Oh yes, most definitely, most fucking. I'm gonna be like, what you say? Explain that again.
They had to run like 3 days of news stories, nigga, just to go through what he said. Before
That's
we
why
get
I
to the
do it like
cancellation
that.
part, nigga.
Where he said so much stuff, but that was, you know what I'm saying. And when you think about it, right, it was a defense mechanism. Not that I was afraid of anything, because you know what I'm saying. As a young age, it's like I had no fear. You know what I'm saying. So
Who
no
does?
fear means it's freedom to me. I'll go right up on your hood, even though, you know what I'm saying, allegedly. Well, now I switched to the other side, so I still go in the same neighborhoods I used to go with, you know, walking down Crenshaw with a blue Pennington, BKs on, and everything else, and then
Oh
at the
yeah, you was
winters.
all the way out of pocket. Let me just go ahead and throw that out there.
Right.
He said,
Allegedly.
"Look, I showed up by Keith, and he's like, what in the hell is you doing?"
Transparency can only go so far.
No, but I'm saying I'm walking down like, you know what I'm saying, with wherever it was, just like. Yeah, but he's like, dude, you 10 tests removed from all the streets. You just can't be walking in G's like that. You know what I'm saying? You can't be you can't be walking past Mr. Ron's barbershop like this. You know what I'm saying? Like,
You
I
in the
said,
wrong
oh, look.
area. I don't give a fuck how much you know. It's some young nigga that don't know you.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly. You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
it was the thing, but you know, shouts out to everybody over there, man, that kind of molded me, the Hodges family and all them, man. And you know, rest to my big B dog, man, because he kind of put me in there. That fat rat, you know what I'm saying? That put me in perspective of molding it. Because there was like the people that, because Matt was still there in spirit, but they kind of like coached me around to make the transition from Louisiana to over there. Plus my mom and my daddy and Auntie May and everybody else over there. So
Shout out to Auntie May too.
yeah.
I said, big
Shout
shout
out.
out to Auntie May.
Love Auntie May.
Want you to feel better.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, me and Nick, we both got to give you a call sometime real soon.
Yeah. I remember that one time I was over there walking down the street to go paint the whole half inside the house.
And people was mad at you.
If he was mad. But that's the thing. But now back to the point, right? Now, what do you feel that with this conversation today, right, that we put it in the air and make people awareness of, don't buy into this cancel culture bullshit? Really? How do we actually do we have to devise a plan on how to get away from that part of the destruction?
But we really
Of
don't
our
have to devise a plan. I just think that once we get bigger voices, man, and we get more motherfuckers away from the mainstream bullshit that don't care about what the mainstream motherfuckers talk about and have faith in their folks, and our folks actually come through with supporting their ass, then we'll have an easier route to go ahead and let their bullshit go and us kind of reprimanding our own people. You know what I'm saying? Us kind of taking our own leaders and those who do good for us despite their bullshit and putting them in our own reprimanding ass situation as opposed to just throwing them to the wolves and now they can't provide for their legacy, man. They put that shit in place for a reason. They worked hard to do what they did to get to where they want to. That shit has to count for something. They not gonna get them niggas nothing. It's up to us, man, the melanated, to make sure that other melanated motherfuckers, at least they families, stay all right. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We forgive other motherfuckers for other shit. You got to be able to forgive and hold our own, hold the good of our own up. Fuck the bad shit. Push the good shit that they did in front of all that bullshit, and the bad shit ain't gonna be no problem. Sure, indeed, they gonna have to, serve their time or do whatever penance they have to pay. But fuck all that other shit. You shouldn't demoralize them to where they can't take care of their people, man.
Yeah.
You know
So look, now this not before, man. This is since we've been talking, this been on my mind, right? The coldest one I seen so far since I've been like indulging into this YouTube stuff and stuff like that. Cause I'm low tech all the way. Keith used to say I don't even have a cash app or whatever, right? I seen this thing, right? This dude, Steve Avery, has the coldest case in America. I don't know if y'all up on that. Making of the murderer dude. You ever seen that? This dude back in Wisconsin, Manitowoc, was wherever, somewhere right there, right?
Yeah, I haven't seen that one
He
yet.
he got he went to jail for like 18 years, right? It got exonerated and they had a bill that was passed after him, right? 2 years after he got out of jail.
And the lawsuit.
In the lawsuit, right? They went back and charged her with the same kind of case, but a different woman with no evidence. I'm like,
Wow.
wow.
Yeah, man.
Then,
Hey.
but then, no, then the cold part, right? They got the little nephew that was, you know,
That is the evidence. The nephew.
But the thing is, right? He was labeled as, you know, not fully development, like this a learning disability, right? So the thing is, he was not of age to even.
He was
Like,
coerced. He was kind of coerced into giving a story.
yeah, and the thing is, right? They never. And the one thing where I was like, damn, they didn't even ask the kid, did he even know about sex? Right? They didn't ask him. He supposed to rape, cut somebody's throat, cut the hair off, tied her up to the bed, but no evidence at all. And I'm like, wow, like they are actually made it so. I don't even know how it ended up on the on the what you call it, man, on the YouTube, but it is the most craziest thing. Off of the kids' evidence that wasn't even of age, didn't even know how to, you know, put the things together. And this uncle went back to jail and lost the lawsuit. Well, gave up the lawsuit to get 200-something thousand to pay the lawyers, and they trying to cancel these people. Like the prosecutor and all the rest of this stuff, it's like, okay, you just made up stuff. Well, where's the blood evidence? Nowhere. Then it's like Dr. Phil, all these other people. It's like, well, you didn't see no hair, no blood evidence. You found the key, but y'all still say you're guilty. And I'm like, wow. So they actually canceled this dude because they couldn't give it the evidence the first time. He was going for a lawsuit for like $37 million or something like that. Was going to bankrupt the whole town. And that's like, no. We'll make one person missing. You go to jail, did get your family to turn on you. And I'm like, wow. I don't even know that right there.
I hope I'm not dreaming past. I know I'm not dreaming past the actual fucking abilities of our people, man, because this is some bullshit. Pretty sure somebody go hear this and need to hear this one day. Our niggas need to come back down, man. Come back to the hood. Come to an actual cookout, nigga. Come fuck with your folks. Realize what we in. Help niggas like us that's trying to help us get up out this shit.
So, but just like yesterday, Cheryl said, you know, we really at the end of days, right? So are you comfortable with your spiritual self knowing that you would actually try to cancel somebody when they're only trying to make their way through the roughest times that we had or going to have, right? That you would take the actual ability of people to try to sustain or even be proactive in the stuff going 20-something years back. Like you said, Frank, if it didn't happen at that particular time, if I don't get 30 days, you know, like 30 or 90-day payout, you know what I'm saying? With percentage, it's like, wow, did you dodge the bullet? Or is somebody's going to throw you under the bus and say, you know what? You don't deserve to live. And we all witnessed, allegedly, some things that went on that wasn't seasoning right. You know what I'm saying? That we see that, and we self-check the situation like, man, you know you're going to get 5 to 10 for that, right? You know what I'm saying? But if you're going to push the hard line, but then, you know who that dude daddy is? You know who that dude mama is? You know who that female uncles and cousins is? Not saying that's going to be you know what I'm saying, holding court in the street, but holding court in social media, man, it is that easy to go back and rewind the video or whatever, because nobody write letters no more. You know what I'm saying? They text messages. So I'm showing up to court with text messages, Matt. You know what I'm saying? Say, at this particular day, that hurt my feelings when they said this. Look. You know what I'm saying? A hashtagging us the fuck out, man. You know what I'm saying? So what do, like,
so what?
Yeah.
So what I think, kind of in closing too.
Oh, we over. I didn't.
28 minutes.
Oh my God.
What I think,
man, we've been off and on this whole week. They could stand up, had another half hour.
So what I think is that I think that traditionally, people like us, we have a particular idea, a particular thought pattern of how things should be. Right? And in terms of the cancel culture shit, I think that we kind of all three of us agree that, you know, the cancel culture shit is bullshit. Right? But what I also think is that from an individual's point of view, because cancel culture is comprised of a whole conglomerate of people with the same point of view, each person's point of view being valuable from that perspective.
Mm.
I think that cancel culture is something that is just part of what comes with the ease of being socially in touch with one another, right? So the new digital age, what comes along with it is the idea that somebody can reach back in your past, don't give a fuck about no due process, right? Or any other procedural shit that is in place to adjudicate your guilt or innocence and simply affect your bottom line. And I don't think that is going to go away because the people who participate in that, they give themselves self value in being able to contribute to your demise.
Isn't that bullying?
No, it's not bullying because there's so many people.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? The other side of the coin, from my point of view, is that people aren't as enthusiastic about lamenting your successes, things that you do that are positive, as they are in trying to bring the light to the things that you do that's negative. And with that, I'm gonna close it out.
Yeah,
I
buddy.
would, yes, indeed. I would first of all like to thank my boys, None Flyer, Nick Nass, Piranhas in the Pine, for hanging in there for the last couple of weeks and shit, man. We've been thugging it out. I also want to send a shout out to my girl Nick Mo.
We
Nick
miss
Mo.
you.
Uh,
Here's another one. Another
I,
good one.
I, I'm always gonna defer to you to go get extra beautified so you can come beautify up this pond.
Oh yeah, for
So
sure.
we miss you. We expect to see you Monday.
We gonna have
Yeah,
to
I'll
get her
talk to you
info.
over the
Her
weekend.
we got to get her input on this topic too. I'm real interested on a female's perspective of it.
Yeah, this would have been a real good one for her to chime in as well as the rest of the comments section. In any event, I want to thank everybody for joining us on Facebook and YouTube Live. Catch us on the replay. Like, share, comment on the replay, as well as jump over on the YouTube side of the game. Give us a sub over there. What else? Oh, thanks to everybody for kind of thugging it out with us this week. I know it's been kind of rough. Cheryl was saying that the replay on one of those days when I had a fucked up Wi-Fi connection was kind of shitty. But again, we always subscribe to the good audio versus bad video shit anyway. So once again, I want to thank everybody for joining us. We have been live at 5/7 Central from the Piranha Pond. And now we
Wait.
are